Hello and welcome to the podcast called Twin Killing, where two twins talk about what the two twins in particular want to talk about. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm Jason. This is Marcus. How are you doing, Marcus?
pretty good. Got a long weekend ahead of us. Happy birthday, America. America.
Happy birthday, America, and happy birthday, us, on Monday, July 7th. Send your cash receipts to at Jason-Luna-4 on Venmo. I love money. Here's a segue. Cheers to that, but also we're in person for the first time on this podcast. Give me a fist bump on my Dr. Pepper cherry. All right.
So cold.
It's cold and delicious. They modified the recipe. It used to be more of a cola that tasted a little cherryish. Now it's very cherry heavy. It's delicious.
Mm.
Refreshing. Not a sponsor yet. Okay, let's do a little improv warm up to get the juices flowing.
Okie
And look
dokie.
at the camera from sideways. It looks weird. Okay, let's try a game called Bad Rap. So remember, last week we played a game called Good Rap, which technically doesn't exist. But anyway, where you think of a word you want to say and you set it up in the first line.
Mhm.
This line, you do the exact same thought process entirely, but then right when you're about to finish the second line of the perfect rhyme, you say a different word.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Go ahead and give me a word that is feasibly rhymable.
Stuff.
There's a song. You go, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap. I went to the store to look for a muff. Bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap. But they had a lot of other clothing and a lot of other items. Bad rap, bad rap, bad rap. See what I did there? I subverted the mild expectation of stuff. Although muff and stuff does not come up a lot in life. All right, you want me to give you a word? Or you want to think of one that's easy for you?
Take turns, so you give me a word.
Okay. Keep with the clothing. Hat. Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap.
Oh, it's the second word. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I went home eager to relax from the day and pet my cat.
Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap. Bad rap.
So to relax, I sat in my chair and took off my pants. Bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap, bad rap.
Yep. True story. I was there. It's gross.
Do I relax by taking off my pants? You'll never know.
Good night, everyone. All right. So I guess I have a bit of a commercial because I'm doing major publicity for my big show. What are you doing on September 7th, Sunday, in Los Angeles, possibly?
I don't have plans, so if it's a big show for you, I'll try to be there.
I'll be performing in Soy Saucy. It's a comedy show tailored specifically for Latin American and Asian American comedians to perform together. I was on a show in March and it sold out its previous venue. And this is a larger venue. This is the beautiful Crow Theater in Santa Monica.
Wow.
Go to soysaucy.com for tickets. Promo code Jason gives you 5% more than 5%. $5 off your ticket. I feel like Crazy Eddie. These discounts are so crazy. You doubt my mental stability.
Crazy Eddie, the guy with the question marks on his suit.
Is that a sales thing? Probably not then.
I'm probably derailing the podcast.
No,
Sorry.
so Crazy Eddie was a local commercial in New York for like a guy who sold electronics, like discount goods.
I think a completely different guy. Sorry.
Think of the Riddler?
No. We'll talk about this later.
I think he's thinking of the Riddler. Okay. Enough pleasantries. We got our commercial. We got our improv game. We've done the basic beats. Let's get to the main course because the appetizer is the beets, like beet salad.
Who's beet salad for a main course?
It's an appetizer.
Oh.
That's the appetizer. We did the main beats of the appetizers. Now it's time for the main course. The steak or tofu steak. We're gonna talk about this movie. It's called Novocaine.
Yep.
You picked this movie, Marcus. What? This was not one of your 1001 movies to see before you die.
Nope.
We saw it before we died, so I guess 1002 movies.
I'm not doing that. I'm not playing this numbers game with the rest of the movies I see in my life.
So why'd you pick this movie if not on your rote list?
Simply put, I like watching action movies from time to time, and the premise intrigued me, and I like Jack Quaid from The Boys
Sure.
and other stuff. So I thought it was worth giving it a go for the podcast.
Well, what other stuff is Jack Quaid in?
Oh, I can't think of anything off the top of my head live action, but he voices the main character on Lower Decks.
Oh yeah. I wish you were watching that instead of this. Okay. Not much preamble. Did you look up anything about the director or the screenwriter or anything like that?
I don't recall the screenwriter, but I did. I didn't look them up too much. I did look up a little bit. It's like Dan. No, it's the opposite. It's Robert Burke and Dan Olson, or maybe a mix of their first names. Anyways, they're a pair of young directors.
Hmm.
Seems very common for action movies because they did that for. There was a pair of directors for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Also, John Wick.
That was two directors too.
I think it was David Leitch and someone else.
Yeah.
Yep. So, comparing it to talking about action movies, this is one of those. I don't know where I was going with that sentence, but so I got some notes here. I have two major problems with this film that will come up very shortly in my notes, but I went in order of the film, so let's get to it. I don't remember the opening of the credits with the Paramount, beautiful Paramount logo,
Yeah.
but they play Love Hurts, and then when I first heard the song, I'm like, oh, that's a weird quasi terrible song to play in a movie. And then oh my god, it's because the character doesn't feel pain. Love
Yeah.
hurts. Get it?
Spot on.
This movie hurts. Okay. Okay. Yeah. My problem with the movie is right away because we get this movie's okay. I have three issues with the movie. One is overarching, and two are more specific. But the overarching thing is this movie is cartoonishly generic. Like
Yeah.
if you had to like pitch, you're in a pitching the movie, and you're like, oh, what's the unique catch about anything in this movie? It'd be like, I don't know, because we'll get to the villains in a second.
Why are you yelling at your friends when they ask you questions about movies?
I don't know. Okay, that one was a little nicer. But because we got a character who works in a bank. It's already pretty boring, but it's early, and then we see the slow reveal of his love interest, and it's a girl
Uh-huh.
with headphones on.
Uh-huh.
What is this girl's unique deal as a love interest?
She's a very pretty girl. I don't know.
You know, my dog's a beautiful girl too. You know, I don't know that.
You're into bestiality, okay.
No,
Too dark, sorry.
yeah. I'm only into nope. There's no covering for that joke. I got a touche for bestiality. She's so yeah. She's a pretty girl. I mean, she's kind of quirky, I guess.
Yeah, they reveal a lot of quirks quickly when they go on their first date. I guess I kind of
Oh
skip a
yeah,
little
we'll get
bit.
to that in a second. Well, we'll get to that now, but ish. But okay. What the hell? So that's my problem number one for this movie is that it's supposed to be a compelling love story,
Uh-huh.
and the main character is a generic guy who can't feel pain, and the love interest is a generic girl who they desperately try to work in a twist about with the criminal thing, but otherwise there's nothing specific really memorable.
He was kind of rushed.
So it's just like I just it didn't have the compelling rom-com thing of like, you know, what specific thing has to change for their relationship to work. It's just they just kind of like each other.
Yeah.
But the twist with the bad guys, which we'll get to in a second, admittedly gives it some juice, but it felt like that came out a little late and wasn't super what's the word? Important. It didn't feel important. Didn't feel integral or what's the word? Not dangerous, but like, you know what I'm saying? I guess there wasn't like an urgency, like, oh my god, she's working with the bad guys. He's screwed. It didn't. They didn't do a good job of paying off that like immediacy of the problem.
Well, they wanted to give you some time to think that they're legitimately liked each other and were both innocent workers at a bank. So
Yeah,
you have to, when you pull a twist, you gotta keep it non-twisty and then pull the twist
I mean,
to make it more of a gut punch.
I'm saying when the twist came along, that spoiler alert, I guess, because we're getting into it, but the love interest is actually the sister of the bank robber. So she was working an inside job to get the bank robbery to work. I didn't get that oh shit moment, like, you know, holy fuck, Jack Quaid's screwed. I didn't feel it.
Uh, I mean, I didn't care for this movie much either, but I don't know. I did feel bad for him. So I guess I felt he was screwed because he's trying desperately to get to his newfound girlfriend, and she's not into him.
Yeah.
And she's in on the bank robbery.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm more vociferous hating this movie, and you didn't like it that much. So, let's get straight into my problems with this movie, okay?
Okay.
Here's my thesis. So, the thing, obviously, it's in the commercials. Everyone understands the movie's called Novocaine. It's not very complicated.
I didn't realize his name was Kane until I saw the movie.
That's not a weird
To make
thing.
it more spot on.
Nathan Kane is a play on Novocaine, which they make a big point of in the beginning of the movie. But also, it reminded me a lot of like Bosch and like boilerplate detective novels.
Really?
Like a tough guy, Nathan Kane. He
Oh.
works on the streets, fighting crime.
But he's not a tough guy because he got bullied for his condition.
No, that's how he got the nickname Novocaine. It's because his bullies figured out he could feel no pain, so they would just beat him up all the time.
It's probably the thing that bothered me the most about the movie because in order of events, on their first date, I guess, because actually, I guess because they had two dates essentially because they had a lunch date at work, and then they went out to where she had some art at a bar or something for the second date.
That was weird because it seemed like an art show, but then it just became a bar dating scene.
Well, anyways, in the lunch on the
Uh.
first date, she asked him because he burns his hand
With coffee, yeah.
and he doesn't freak out, and it's a noticeable burn, basically third degree. This film's pretty gory.
So that goes into my second problem with his superpower thing, is that this movie just seems to present things for someone like me, who's not even a doctor. Shockingly, I know. But that how is he like functioning as a person? He gets third degree burns and he can't feel them, and then the movie's just like, oh, he's fine. And like he gets an arrow in his leg, and it's like, oh, he can walk. It's just this movie just like seems to think he can't feel pain, so therefore injuries are just nothing.
Not nothing, because he does pass out multiple times in the movie from blood loss. So it is, I think, somewhat surprisingly medically accurate, I think, of what could happen for someone with SIPA. SIPA, which stands for something, I can't remember, but it's an actual condition. I actually paused the movie, because in this lunch date he says, she's like, what's up with you? You burn your hand, nothing happens. And you're ordering a milkshake for lunch instead of actual food, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, I have this genetic disorder called SIPA. And he says what it stands for, so I Lawrence starts with a C, not an S. CIPA. So I pause the movie and Google it, and the first thing he says in the movie is life expectancy with someone with my condition is 25 years old, is 25 years. She's like, oh wow. And I pause the movie and I Google it. That's the first freaking sentence on the Google search for SIPA is life expectancy is 25 years. So whoever the screenwriter is of this movie, I don't, you didn't say their name, I don't remember who it is, but probably stumbled upon SIPA. I don't know if they knew had a relative or they Googled it or heard it on Jeopardy or something.
This is
and wrote a movie about it, and then
this is a personal story. I feel hard to believe it'd be like, oh, I need to make a John Wick knockoff about it. Wouldn't you make like a drama about it or something?
I don't know. Maybe not a relative. It's probably more likely stumbled upon it on the internet and then wrote a movie about it.
Yeah. And by the way, don't criticize people for drinking milkshakes for lunch. Milkshakes are delicious.
But you would eat food with it, wouldn't you?
Depends. Where am I? What's the restaurant?
You would just eat a milkshake for lunch?
I presumably would have eaten something already, so this is kind of, but some places I would not like their food. I would only like the milkshakes.
Just a milkshake for lunch does sound good. I'm going to do that next time.
Yep. Maybe we'll. I was going to make some terrible references to the disease that's real, and let's not do that. So, here's my main problem with the superpower of the movie, which we've discussed a lot already, but it's the movie, so whatever. He can't feel pain, so he can push through and do action movie stuff. But I thought about it, Marcus. We both enjoy, like every God-loving American in the world, the movie Die Hard.
Fuck yeah. Christmas movie, by the way.
Yes, just like this movie, which is weird. We can talk about that a little bit, maybe. But my point is, John McClane has foot trauma, bleeding, all these pain things, and he pushes through and does the thing. How is that demonstrably different than, oh, I can't feel pain, I'm gonna do Die Hard things?
It's not.
It just feels like it's somehow retroactively taking action movie cliches and making it a disease, but it comes out very similarly in the execution.
It's the differences he gets. The screenwriters and the directors or whatever had fun, quote unquote, on the varieties of ways he could get hurt. Because they get pretty wacky. You mentioned the arrow thing because that was part of a house of booby traps to find one of the robbers. He gets a swinging. What do you call that? Swinging. It's
like a mace on a chain.
It's a big mace because the mace on the stick is kind of small.
Yeah,
but
it was a bowling ball with mace apparatus.
Yeah, like 3 times the size of the mace on a stick, swinging mace on a stick from medieval times.
It's funny because
he gets in his back and he's like.
Because I was talking about Die Hard, which is just I felt like this movie knocked off to a certain degree. Ho ho ho! I have a machine gun, etc. But this movie also knocked off Home Alone with the house of the booby traps.
It's the bad guy with the booby traps. That one of the dead, the first robber he kills with a
gunshot in the kitchen. How inspired.
Yeah. That's kind of the gimmick with these John Wick. This movie is fight scenes in weird places. Although,
yeah,
I think the silliness almost hurts this movie a little bit compared to. I think John Wick and Nobody are much better movies.
I agree. Nobody, despite having Bob Odenkirk in the lead, had a much cleaner through line. They still had set pieces, but they weren't like silly for the sake of silly and like ha ha ha. It's like the big scene in Nobody is a fight on a bus. It's not funny. It's like effective, but it's not funny. Yeah. Okay, so we're kind of just, I don't know. Yeah, we're getting to the plot by complaining, like every good reviewer. So My other major problem with I have so many problems with this movie. But huge problem with this movie. You know, what's the thing that just makes action movies super memorable? Give you a hint. Hans Gruber, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern. It's villains with idiosyncratic quirks, great acting, unique appearance. We get white guys in Santa suits, and then they take the Santa suits off.
So I was looking through the cast of this film, and I was like, the guy who played the main villain, I saw on the cast his name was Ray Nicholson. It's like, holy crap, that is Jack Nicholson's son. Because I'm not sure if I made this clear on the podcast before, I'm a huge Laker fan.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Jack Nicholson famously sat courtside for every home game for the Lakers for decades. He's actually still alive, but he doesn't go often at all. But instead, he often gives his seat to his son. And so I wondered why he looked familiar. I've seen that guy at Laker games in Jack Nicholson's seat because I didn't know his first name, but now I do. It's Ray Nicholson, plays the villain. He's kind of snarky, but not clever.
Yeah.
All his dialogue.
And then it gets so confusing because his secondhand man is the brother of the guy who dies at the kitchen.
Right, he has brothers help him.
And I know they're brothers, so they look alike, but they look so much alike. I got confused because it's just white guys with beards.
Yeah. And they're, I don't know if they said what country they're from. They were European or something.
She's very American in the accenting.
No, and the second brother who goes to the booby trap house because he's
looking for his brother or whatever, yeah.
He has an accent and he says, you know, my favorite part of torturing people in the Kremlin or something like, or whatever the Russian police force.
KGB probably. Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Some European
Ruskies.
Criminal. I don't know if he said it was police or he's a criminal. And anyways, he tortured people in Europe. So
all right, you convinced me. Instead of a generic American, he's a generic Russian. Congratulations. Dos vidanya. Get on ya.
We didn't have a Russian accent yet. I don't want to watch this movie again, but I'm almost tempted to.
The accent you did in your summarizing impression kind of sounded like Middle Eastern European.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I have some random nitpicks about this movie I want to get to.
Okay.
There's a lot of set pieces about the powers thing. The one that was crazy to me, did you think it wasn't just insanely mean that she tricked the bully, his childhood bully, to like show that they loved each other? Tricked the bully to drink ghost pepper sauce as shots?
Yeah, this movie's not good for thinking because, for one, a bartender should not be okay with that. Hey, can I get two shot glasses full of hot sauce? The bartender would be like, what the fuck?
It's unethical and illegal.
Right, and then the bartender watches both of them drink it, and then our hero is unaffected because of his zero pain tolerance, but the bully suffers. That's right to call the police.
But no, he just runs away, and then we get to the sex scene with but this is between what's her name? She's a generic. What's her? Do you remember her character name?
She's actually, I don't remember.
Candace,
Sophie, maybe.
It's real Sophie's Choice situation here.
I think people with the name Sophie hate Sophie's Choice, huh? And like
that should be a crime. That should be a crime too. Bartenders are not allowed to make a Sophie's Choice joke because that's just mean. Okay, but it's part of the whole thing. she's in hindsight she's setting him up, but also she actually loves him. Blah blah blah. It was so weird. The tattoo he put on himself, and the movie acts like this is a normal thing that happens. He makes a tattoo up his arms and across his chest of a medieval adventure story. Your thoughts?
Well, I think he says he makes this tattoo because he spends a lot of time by himself. Because if I was his parents, I would do that too. Because that's something that came up in my small amount of SEPA research when I heard that in the movie was if you have SEPA, you have to constantly check your kids, or I guess if you have it, you have to constantly check yourself if you have any cuts or anything. So, understandably, a parent would isolate a child with SEPA.
But I mean, if he's putting tattoos on himself, he's cutting his skin.
It's not cutting. It's drawing with a high pressure pen. Essentially, is
But
what
I mean,
tattooing is.
he can't. Okay, here's a question about SEPA disease, or at least how it's portrayed in this movie.
Uh-huh.
So does he just not have any sensory perception at all due to the nerve damage? Like, does he just like not feel his body existing in space? If he takes a tattoo needle and puts it on his arm, does he feel the natural resistance of his skin tension?
No, I would say no.
Then why would there's a good chance he would kill himself with the tattoo needle because he wouldn't know how far to push.
I mean, he's probably watching it while he's doing it. So
Well, as someone who's afraid of tattoo needles already, with that on top and doing it to yourself, that kid's got balls. So this is a very minor nitpick, but remember how I was like, "Everybody Hurts" by REM was a really random song choice to play in the opening credits of your movie?
it wasn't random at all.
That's
I need a pain song.
thematically appropriate, but the tempo was off. It's weird. And then
They always play slow songs in action movies like that it's like for irony. It's like every action movie has a ballad in it at some point.
today we learned that irony does not have to be entertaining. All right. And then so after he has sex with Candy Sophie,
Gave her some Novocaine, am I right?
you have your phone with you. Look it up. Look at her name. But so the night after they have sex, he's in the bank and he's listening to the radio. Do you remember what song's playing on the radio? I wrote it down.
No.
Freaking I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness. Is that a thing with this movie that they have to play songs that are too old to make sense for current radio?
Must have been a fan of Dan Burke or Robert Olson. The directors. Sherry,
Sherry, you're my girl. Sherry.
this is not a
It's not a Four Seasons movie.
Four Seasons karaoke
It's not
podcast.
this movie's not a Frankie Valley vehicle. I can feel it in my bones. I tell you, he's very old and not interested. I was trying to do that Simpsons joke. Hold on. Oh, so that's so funny to me. I know the robbers were dressed as Santa Claus, but I was just so bored I didn't care. And then the cops, who we'll talk a little bit more in a second, not that much, but they're like, "Did you call for backup?" "Yeah, I tried to, but it's gonna take a really long time because everyone's busy for the holiday." And I'm like, "Holy shit! It's Christmas. There's no ornamentation anywhere, no Christmas activities, no Christmas trees, no presents, no Rudolph special on the background of a television." Megan, your thoughts?
Yeah, that is weird in hindsight. I mean, that's because apparently they shot this movie in South Africa, which is disappointing
Yep.
because, I think I've shared on this podcast, I live in San Diego and Jason's visiting in San Diego right now. So it's kind of like, whoa, is this shot in San Diego? Because the whole movie's set in San Diego. He works at San Diego Bank and Trust and they have what do you call those shots when they like a helicopter flying over shot of a city? It's like what do you call it? Like a
Aerial shot?
yeah. So I was going for like a term for like a scene setting shot, like a
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. It's
So like you have a movie set in LA or something, and you show the Hollywood sign transitioning
or
between
even just the skyline
scenes.
of the city or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's not a term for that, like the.
Establishing shot, I guess.
Anyways, but then not to fast forward to the end here, but in the credits, I was actually on the special thanks expecting to see thank you to the city of San Diego, San Diego Police Department, and there was not a single thing about San Diego in the thanks. So that was kind of weird. Where was I going with this? Oh, but yeah, they in hindsight, I think they it might have been a way to get Comic Con fans excited because that's a city where we go to Comic Con.
Yeah.
But also, it's a sunny place that's sunny in Christmas time.
Yeah, but yeah, they didn't do any of that. Like, in Die Hard, they have juxtaposition like that, or other movies where it's like Santa Claus at the beach pushing a shopping cart or something. It's like they didn't have any of that sort of like Christmas in July imagery or whatever.
No, except it was sunny outside. That was it. And also, the dialogue. It's the what's his name? The Upright Citizens Brigade guy who's in this movie. Oh, Matt
Oh
Walsh.
yeah, Matt Walsh as the cop. Let's talk about that now. I guess. I mean, not that much to talk about, but
Well, because I quickly I'll just say I brought it up because I think because the cops are waiting outside the booby trap house,
yeah.
and Matt Walsh says the city's been through a lot. Like when the Chargers and when the Clippers left, it's like, hey, a San Diego history quote.
Clippers, man, that's before everyone's time.
It's facts. It wasn't that long ago. It was early '80s, I think.
Yeah, I guess. Are people that upset about the Clippers? Watch a Clippers game. All right, moving on.
It's nice for your city to have an NBA team and they lost it.
Yeah. Uh, so random thought that this movie would have marginally improved if one of the villains was black or not white.
You know, they use minorities for the female lead. She's Native American, I think, because her actress name is Mid Thunder is her
Oh,
last name,
I thought she was Latina, but there you go.
and the lead cop detective whatever is a black woman.
Yep, she was fine. They didn't give her a ton of like original stuff. They did that cliche bullshit where she gives Sherry her own gun, being like, "I'm gonna hate myself for doing this."
You better not miss.
It's like, thanks, cop cliches, for coming in when you don't know what to do.
And she's a serious cop who Matt Walsh, who'd expect like one-liners out of that pairing, says she kind of like straightens him out.
I mean, Matt Walsh is getting older, so he can't play straight up UCB TV show character, but I definitely wanted him to be wackier than he was.
Yeah, they didn't want an incompetent cop in this movie, which makes sense. That
Yeah,
would have been weird.
that's another plot thread that is there, but didn't like scare get me tense or scared. Is they think that Jack Quaid was in on the whole bank robbery and Sherry getting kidnapped and all that stuff, and the cops are chasing
He
him.
did steal a cop car.
I know, but the movie is shot so broadly and well lit with these like crazy driving scenes that happen quick and nothing happens. Just felt very safe for an action movie in general. Yeah.
This might have been a low-budget movie, relatively speaking, because a lot of things were limited compared to better action movies.
Speaking of Jack Quaid driving a police car, did you think it was weird that Jack Quaid got shot in the arm and he's driving a car? I know he can't feel pain, but wouldn't he have some kind of nerve damage to his motor skills?
I think it depends where he got shot in the arm and how close it got to the muscle.
I thought that was also very sloppy work because side character is not really that important. The movie does not really care about that much. Shocking in this movie, the magical.
I don't have a problem with that because there's been plenty of good action movies where the hero is riddled with bullets and still shoots all the bad guys and stuff or whatever. It's like,
It's arguable. I was just gonna say there's a character who I almost called a magical black man because he's black and he's like a nice guy who understands Jack Quaid's situation immediately and helps him when he's a fugitive. And they go to the hardware store that is mentioned in the first scene, and Jack Quaid takes the bullet out, and that's just like really sloppy surgery. Really sloppy.
well, I was okay with that, and it fit the way the Sepa is portrayed in the movie. He can go more direct and brutal with his bullet removal because of his condition.
But wouldn't it still bleed out more?
Depends where he's cutting. The arm is this thing where it's full of major veins and muscles, so he didn't, because he show our viewers, he cut here. When I've donated blood in the past, they shoot for the vein here, so I think it's possible that when you cut, if you use the box cutter or a knife up here, it wouldn't bleed out. So I had no problem with that.
I did. Oh, I did.
He uses
Because I've heard anecdotally from watching YouTube videos about medicine that a lot of times when you get shot, rushing in with a knife and cutting open and pulling the bullet out will just kill you. And some people just live with a bullet in a safer part of their body for the rest of their lives.
it depends where he gets shot,
And
and the type of caliber of bullet, and
movies do this,
all these stuff.
Movies do that all the time, so it's fine. It's fine. Oh, by the way, I do think it's a plot hole. I know I mentioned this earlier, where the cop's like, "Oh, I tried to get backup, but it's Christmas." I think that's stupid. I feel like police departments have contingencies for holidays because holidays is the like highest rate of like crime.
Yeah, it's a sneaky thing that movies do to save money, because if in real life, if a bank robbery with a homicide happened and the San Diego police force was understaffed, which I would find that hard to believe. San Diego police force in real life is pretty huge, but they would get assistance from maybe the federal government, but definitely from like Orange County or surrounding areas police forces to assist. There'd be a full manhunt for there's a murder in a bank. It's like, oh, we can't call backup because we don't have enough people. It'd be a full-on manhunt because there's a murderer on the loose. So yes, it's not realistic.
So yeah, I know movies are, and we live in a modern age with multiracial families and mixed identities and all that stuff. I think it's weird we're just casually like, hey, white quasi skinhead looking criminal is the brother of a Native American woman.
I didn't care about that.
You're more progressive than I am. It's always the case. I'm gonna cut that. I'm just kidding. All right. I'm gonna look at my notes. Talk amongst yourself here. God, I don't remember. Wait, who was he talking to? Jack Quaid's talking to someone, and he says, you should see the other guy."
He's talking to the black guy.
Yeah, that's just an old cliche, almost dad joke.
Yeah.
That's just in your movie.
Yep.
Okay. I actually wrote my notes. My actual dad could write a better joke than that, but our dad's just very talented, so you know.
This is the Joseph Luna fan club cast. So.
We talked about this briefly, but this whole movie, regardless of the scenario, either the comic parts or the action parts or the serious, scary parts, is shot in such broad, even lighting. Even the machine shop that the villains work in it's so easy to see everything. It really hurts the pacing of this movie as like, ooh, this is the scary part. Ooh, this is the dramatic part.
It does get darker for the big final
The
fight scene at
car,
at
car
the,
chases and stuff.
at
Yeah,
the docks with
the ducks.
the shipping crates.
You gotta love it. You gotta love a movie where the most original part of the movie is going to the docks.
I didn't say that was original, but whatever.
It's more original than other parts of the movie. I mean, that's the climax of the film. So, I mean, it's on a what do you call that? It's a scale based on other things. It's better. It's not good, but it's better than before. Just in originality. God, that makeup on his hand that he can't get treated because he's doing extra adventure stuff looks so diseased and almost like it need to be amputated.
That's the audience they're gearing this for. I think you go into a movie like this expecting a certain amount of blood. I mean, for one, it's an action movie to begin with, but yes, they focused on he bleeds constantly, and that's like I said before. That's actually common with SIPA. You have a serious gash and not have no idea it's there. But yeah, I feel like a lot of these action movie combo directors, when they have two directors, they join forces because they love doing special effects, and movies are like a vehicle for them to do special effects. So maybe surprised if one of them's like a big makeup guy and was excited to make a purple hand for Jack Quaid to use.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking instead of special effects, they should call it boring effects.
Zing.
Bazinga. Okay, so seriously, it's actually getting hard for me to remember this movie now because there's so many white men with beards. Because he figures out to go to the house with the traps in it by first going to a tattoo shop run by a skinhead Nazi, like an actual Nazi.
Because he takes a picture of the guy he kills' arm.
Right. He gets the tattoo. Oh, that was the weakest part. I mean, okay. Admittedly, we as we just discerned, logic is not this movie's leading. Yeah, exactly. But we haven't even talked about the best friend yet. He plays a fake version of Dark Souls. I don't know if you're familiar with that game, but it's like a knockoff version of that.
I'm familiar with those RPGs and with
Very,
magical powers.
very, very difficult RPGs by Neversoft called Dark Souls. But he plays with a friend he's never met in real life, played by that guy from Spider-Man.
Jacob Batalon's his actor name. Plays Ned in the Tom Holland Spider-Man franchise.
Boy, I wish I was watching one of those. All right. So my point was that logically, he's like, "Hey, I got this tattoo. I'm going to send you a picture of it. Can you just go ahead and search every tattoo parlor in San Diego and give me a match?" And they do it very quickly. Yeah. Anyway, he goes to the tattoo parlor. My whole point of this anecdote, other than it's just a scene that happens, it's a plot point in the movie. He gets in a fight with the skinhead. There's some set pieces using the tattoo parlor, not enough to make it funny. But anyway, they make a point of Jack Quaid gets stabbed in the hand with the tattoo needle.
Wait, what?
Something happened with his hand.
Well, use the tattoo needle, write the address on his hand.
Oh, right. Again, he can't feel it, so he probably murdered his hand. But I was thinking because he uses that hand to pick stuff up afterwards. Even if he didn't feel pain, wouldn't that hurt his ability to manipulate his fine motor skills?
I mean, people heal from tattoos. That's kind of the
I
point of tattoos, is that they're not permanently painful.
I don't know anything about tattoos, but especially palm tattoos. But whatever. That's fair. That's pretty minor nitpick. Movie sucks. Terrible movie. Yeah, where does he buy all that? Like, what? If you're gonna booby trap your house, why wouldn't you just booby trap it normally with like guns or even the arrows? Why is it to buy random shit. But
It's quieter that way.
I guess, you know. Okay, this is one of the weirdest nitpicks I have, but I think it's accurate. So he's in the house, and every step he takes, a booby trap like almost murders him. He gets the mace in his back, he gets the arrow in his leg. So he gets the actually good idea. He grabs a chair with wheels on it, and he careens it down the hallway, and everything's fine. But then he's at the end of the hallway, and there's more to walk through. And he like moves the chair out of the way and just walks in. Why wouldn't he just do the same thing and put the chair in front of him?
I don't know. This movie really wanted him to get hogtied.
Yeah, that was like the worst trap. He could have easily died if he didn't get rescued or whatever.
Yep. He had to rely on calling his only friend he had, the gamer friend.
And oh man, this joke was
Neverland.
hilarious. You thought he was a motorcyclist because he had a leather jacket and a helmet, but it's actually the world's ugliest moped. That thing had like brown furniture leather on it or something. It was weirdly contoured.
I don't really care so much what the moped looks like. It's just not a Harley was the point of the.
Look, okay, if you're gonna spend, this is a PSA. If you're gonna spend money on a moped, that one looks good. Fuck, it was so ugly. You didn't notice that? Like, why not a normal Italian style Vespa?
I was focused on the fact that it was not a Harley. I was not focused on the details of the moped.
Someone here is thinking hog wild.
I mean, it's such an obvious trope. I mean, couldn't you tell from if that character was going to appear on screen? I mean, in fact, that's freaking. You could tell it was Ned from Spider-Man. Instant he talked when they were playing video games. He's gonna lie about his appearance because he's bragging about his Harley and all the girls he has and his ponytail. Such an obvious trope to lie about your actual persona with a video game persona.
Yeah, this movie thought that was. I guess it's not a character thing to wear a leather jacket or to wear a business suit to a bank. Movie had no character depth whatsoever. Moving on. No, it was weird that yeah, it was Jack Quaid. He got bear spray in his eyes, and it didn't really affect his ability to see that much, and it disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was at some point this movie broke the cardinal rule of bad movies, which happens a lot, weirdly, which is they mention a movie, and the movie's better than the one that's playing on the screen. For some reason, Jack Quaid and the Ned leads bring up Home Alone out of nowhere.
I mean, the booby traps are like Home Alone.
I know, but it's like, why would you say the name of a much better movie that everyone likes? That everyone likes. That's my point.
And certain fans will eat shit like that up. So I'm not surprised that they did that.
Yeah, it's always the bad movies that do that for some reason.
Meta in movies is so much more in fad and popular to do in screenwriting than it used to be. It's almost like they think something's wrong with you if you don't get all meta-y with your screenwriting while you're doing the
Okay,
movie.
I have a couple really random nitpicks here, but first of all, you remember what the bad guy's name is, character name?
No.
Simon.
Eh.
I just kept offhandedly thinking of Simon Says, or the Simon electronic board game. It's such a hacky name.
It's also, speaking of Die Hard, that's Hans Gruber's brother, played by Jeremy Irons in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh yeah, better movie. Uh, so this is a really random thing. So the bad guy is talking to Jack Quaid in the machine shop, and the fake out climax, near the end of the movie. Anyway, he says, "Hey, why are you trying to rescue her? Why don't you get out of here and go to urgent care? Why did you say urgent care? Why not the hospital or a doctor?
Don't know.
It's just so random. Who thinks of that on the fly?
It's cheaper than the hospital. It'd be nice.
Still pretty expensive. More expensive than a preordained doctor visit.
Yes, you literally, for our listeners, you just laid out the cost of healthcare.
Feel like Cameron?
Burn. Primary care is cheapest. Urgent care is in the middle.
Yep.
Emergency room is the most expensive.
Cheapest of all? God's love. Christian Science. All right, moving on.
The Robert Kennedy Jr. plan. Mhm.
Oh, there was I don't know if this was an intentional. There's two possibilities. One, they made a mistake, or two, I missaw the situation. But it was really weird because the black woman cop, I shouldn't call her that, is shot, I think.
Yeah, she gets shot in.
Hold on. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Just clarifying, she got shot in the hip area.
All right. So Sherry goes to help her, and then I swear I saw in the wide shot, she goes down and takes her key to the is it handcuffs or car? There was a whole key gag. Like, I have your key.
She ends up following, because it's the bad guy driving the ambulance with Jack Quaid in the back.
Right.
And it's Sherry driving the bank robber girl, driving the car with the cop in the passenger seat.
Car key. So anyway, the wide shot, they show her taking the key, and they go to the reverse shot of the talking, and she's like, "Hey, give me the key to your car." And the cop's like, "I don't want to give you the key to the car." And then she shows the key like, "Haha, I stole it." But I swear they showed her stealing it before the reveal. Did you see that?
No.
I'm going crazy!
Someone isolate that clip and send it back to Jason, please.
Peanut butter is the solution to everyone's problems. Okay, why was he passed out in the back of the ambulance?
That's the theme of the movie. I think I mentioned this before.
Like, oh, it's like a blood thing?
Yes, because it's a medical fact that if you lose enough blood, you can lose consciousness because of because red blood cells provide oxygen to you. So if you lose enough of it, you can have I don't know. I should have gone to medical school, but like anemia. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like anemia. Here's a philosophical kind of question: if a guy doesn't feel any pain, how does he know he has to go to sleep? Because I feel like a big part of sleepiness is that your body sends impulses to your eyes to close them. There's lots of brain function questions that I have for this condition. So of course you can answer me, you know.
Is it pain that is the indicator that you need to go to sleep?
Well, here's the thing. I know the movie's like he feels no pain, Novocaine, blah, blah, blah. But pain is a nerve impulse. So if you don't have pain, how far down the line of nerve impulses that you don't have is it? Because, I mean, there's a certain nerve sense that, like, you know, I know my arm is in this spatial alignment with the wind in the room. I feel all that with my nerve cells. But, yeah.
It's
complicated.
The body has pain receptors and other nerves. So maybe SEPA only affects the pain receptors?
That would have been a helpful thing to discuss in the movie, but this movie ain't that smart. So,
I didn't see anything about. I didn't go too deep into SEPA research on my own, but I didn't see anything about insomnia and SEPA, so I don't.
Yeah, I guess it's not. Yeah, it must be different than nerve damage, whole nerve damage. Like,
is that your nerve damage noise?
If I sliced your nerves, it'd be pretty.
Okay, we're near the end of the movie. What's next?
Oh, okay, yeah. That was a weird line. It's supposed to be a joke, but
That's the joke.
because she's driving the girl and the cops in the back,
Yeah.
and she's like, they're talking about something, and she's like, "Yeah, I used to steal cars. Oh, but I don't anymore," which is weird because she's still linked to a bank robbery.
Just you don't want to tell cops crimes you did. I don't know,
All right.
all things nitpick in this movie. I think that was fine.
Okay, I know I've been picking apart this movie for having a generic plot and generic characters, but my God, their great big plan is they're gonna take a boat south to an island. Like, is this like baby's first screenplay? I mean, what the fuck? They can't even like have a specific nationality of the island or any connection to it at all.
I mean, especially when you rob a bank in San Diego, you want to get to international, either across the border or probably international waters. Probably better because I imagine there's less Coast Guard stopping you from going to Mexico through Mexico waters than there is the border crossings and such.
I mean, literally, that little bit of context you gave would have been a better movie than this. Oh yeah, it was such a weird villain line. He's like, if you would just stayed out of this, she would have been in South America. But now I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna kill her. And it was like neither of those scenarios sounded very good. But I guess her being dead is worse. So that was weird.
Well, she did tell him, "I'm out," and so that's potential snitch territory. So snitches get stitches type of scenario. So
Yeah.
he's a type of they've established his villainy with his brutality, basically from the beginning. When he's the one who killed the bank manager, and he didn't have to. So yeah, he definitely killed his own sister to get away with the bank robbery. Make sure he got away with the bank robbery.
So, do you like dad jokes in general?
Depends on the joke, but I like the spirit of dad jokes. Some people, because I make them from time to time. Some people I make a dad joke and they're like, "No dad jokes." I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever. Your lame observational comedy instead. Okay.
When I was
What? Are you mumbling?
Let me speak more clear. How funny was that joke in the movie? From a scale of 1 to 10.
It was a 3. It was too drawn out.
It was dumb. He intentionally mumbled just to set up an action movie line.
If the driver had said, "Stop mumbling, jackass," he would have been like, wait, say something else so I can...
Goddamn son of a bitch. trying to rob a bank and get these goddamn dad jokes. Oh my god. And then I'm not gonna ask you, I'm gonna tell you. I don't think it was a very original villain death scene that Nathan Kane stabs the bad guy in the throat with a knife.
Wasn't it his bone?
Oh.
Because he breaks his... In the preceding fighting, he breaks his arm enough for bones sticking out.
I thought it was a knife, but it makes more sense. I guess it's a little more interesting, but I have questions because I don't know if bones work that well for that. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It has to be the pointy. The bone has to become pointy.
And some bones are more like wiggly, like plant roots. That's I go and wee.
What's a wiggly bone?
Like, there's some bones that are more.
Give an example. Any bone.
I know babies have more bones that are more like that, where they don't break. They go like.
Babies' bones are vulnerable.
No, they're not vulnerable, but they don't. Human bones go like. But baby bones go a little more like a plant root. It bends.
Have you been practicing on babies?
Only on you, baby. Okay, moving on. So I don't know. We get to the resolution-y part. We're almost done. So this part was weird to me too,
Uh-huh.
but you're gonna say it is what it is. Movies, whatever. But so he's in the hospital with his bandage. He's in the full body cast. Hilarious. Like it.
I don't know if it's trying to be funny per se.
I mean, it's a historically somewhat comical image. But anyway, the black lady cop, shouldn't call her that, comes in and talks to him, and she's like, something about it, there's a deal, and you're only going to get, 6 months house arrest and 5 years probation. And she takes the deal in a folder and puts it down on the table in the hospital. Why wasn't there like a lawyer present?
Because his lawyer already took care of it.
That seemed weird.
He was in a coma, so
There has to be a legal proceeding for his sentencing.
there might be exceptions where people in comas have to ask a lawyer or Google the how the law works with coma people who've committed crimes.
If the YouTube channel Legal Eagle is watching this, big fan, let us know.
Did they have a coma episode?
No, but he's a legal expert. He's got a sense of humor. He would probably have fun talking about the movie. I don't know. Yep, it's a good channel, but whatever. Oh my god, autocorrect. Call them by the dick, and he was buried with Rose in school. How romantic? Question mark. What the fuck was I talking about? I don't
Call
know.
them by the dick.
Man, super autocorrect. There's something romantic in there that was stupid.
Oh. Well, the ending, I think what you're talking about, the romantic part, is that she still goes to jail because of her assisting in a bank robbery,
But she only has-
participating in a bank robbery.
Was it 18 months or something?
Call them by the dick.
Oh.
Call them by the dick. Call them by the dick. So in that scene, something about cherry pie, or the visiting. What could call them by the dick?
I don't know. It was, I did the vocal thing, but I was doing it real time, so I didn't edit, and it's hard to edit anyway. But so whatever. Moving on. The ending is stupid. It's not terrible. It's like a decent twist, but I wasn't like I saw it coming. First of all, which is
What the nature of their date?
I knew that she was in prison the
Oh.
whole time because he's in the hospital, and they're like, "How's Sherry?" And Ned Leeds is like, "She's fine," and they don't talk about it anymore. I was like, "Oh, there's something going on." And then the way they shot the last scene, where it's like he's sitting at a table, this is romantic, and she's like, "Yup," and then
Yup.
but they shot her so tight that I knew what the reveal was instantly.
I don't remember it being like a big surprise that she was in jail. I guess I kind of thought that, now I'm thinking about it.
That's not a big reveal, but they did shoot it like it was a surprise because it's a romantic date that turns into a.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was arguably the most effective surprise in the entire movie, but I felt a little flat because it was like, oh well, yeah, they're together like they were supposed to be, and she's gonna get out of prison eventually, and okay, it's like wasn't like mind blowing. And
He eats cherry pie at the very end, which is a callback to his eating cherry pie for the very first time on their lunch date.
yeah, and that was so weird that, well, A, like, it sounds like it's a real thing, and you can't eat the solid foods and blah, 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 but it's just so weird that he gives in to her and puts the cherry pie in his mouth. Like, he could, like, die.
Do crazy things for love, baby.
So, I'll get into the review portion of this movie. I'll go first, because I don't care, whatever. This movie is, like, I never sat through a John Wick, but I watched Nobody. I've watched action movies in my life, and this was, oddly like a weird, almost like not Hallmark, but like some kind of high-end TV version of it. It was shot so mediocrely, not very clever, not super funny, not super well acted. I mean, the actors are all likable, but it's not really their fault. But whatever. This movie's a hot mess. I felt pain. I will. I would recommend it to literally nobody because I'm not a big fan of the like generic version of this genre. So I'll give it a polite like. I'll give it a reasonably high 3 out of 10 because it had its plot basics and it moved through them fine and no one died in the watching part. So it's like a fine exercise. It's not fun to watch or entertaining.
Yeah, my thoughts are pretty similar to yours. Because every time I watch a movie, I read the Wikipedia page on it afterwards, and I like to scroll down to the critical reception if I like or dislike a movie. And I think one of the more distressing things is that I don't like a movie and think it's pretty terribly made and got a lot of flaws and stuff like that, and then see that it's positively reviewed by critics. So then if it makes any money at all, people will try to repeat this movie. And it's not like, I mean, if you copy like The Terminator or whatever, Citizen Kane or The Godfather or insert movie that's enjoyable for whatever reason, you're really starting with something that's a good, well made, and then maybe you can make a version. I mean, ideally films will be more original, but you're starting with something that's good in the first place at least. In this case, it's not that good. I didn't, I don't know. The original idea, I guess, is invented with the SEPA thing, but then it was, I don't know, too focused on that, and they didn't build out none of the supporting characters at all. And tone was all over the place. I thought it was silly without being funny, which honestly is the worst tone in any type of movie ever, in my opinion.
I agree
Um,
because you spend a lot of time sort of analyzing what you should have laughed at or whatever.
um, it did end up feeling cheap. Um, yeah, I recommend watching John Wick or Nobody again if you have seen them, and if you haven't, watch them instead, or revisiting John Woo's movies or Mission Impossibles or gosh, any almost any other Die Hard movies.
I think
As opposed to watching
Die Hard's a
this.
really good comp for this movie because it had a affable comedic lead character, but it was funnier and had surprising depth in terms of its characters and the complexity of narrative and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though it had San Diego references, which was a pleasing thing as a San Diego resident. Um, Not to be a copycat, but the podcast is Twin Killing. I was thinking three before you started going, so I'll go with three. Four seems too high, like I would recommend it, but three is good because two or one is offensively bad, and this is more forgettable and kind of more eager to watch other things to forget this movie than I'm not really angry that I watched it. It's just forgettable.
Yeah, agreed. Novocaine. More like, no.
Nathan Kane.
Okay. You have a movie for next week, Marcus?
I picked Novocaine. Am I gonna pick again?
Oh, shit. Wait, I had one. Oh, shit. Oh, God damn it. I should have wrote it down. Well, the sound a bat makes. Okay, fuck. What the hell am I saying? Mm. Okay, fuck it. Do it live.
The Bill O'Reilly story. Book it, people.
The first for this show, I'm gonna do a movie I have watched, but you have not, because I'm bugging you to watch this for seemingly years, and I want to get into the historically horrible third film, but I want to watch the first one again, so you're caught up. Why don't we watch Creepshow? Arguably the greatest horror anthology feature film ever made.
Sounds like fun. I like horror anthology films.
Directed by George Romero. Script by Stephen King. It's a good one.
Ed Harris, Leslie Nielsen.
Hal Holbrook. So, with that, I feel like someone ran pretty long anyway. Any parting words?
Go Dodgers as usual. Congrats to Clayton Kershaw, 3,000 strikeouts. Less pitchers have thrown 3,000 strikeouts than won 300 games. Surprisingly enough.
And let's go Metallica because I was sitting right there on that poster the whole time. Again, watch something else.